Hi all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Ronke and I love to explore career, travel, and lifestyle. In today's video, I will be touching on the power of delegation. Delegation in the professional environment is extremely important, but some people have a negative outlook on it. The truth is, if you can learn how to delegate appropriately, it may improve your work life. To delegate is to entrust a task or responsibility to another person, typically one who is less senior than oneself. Now, delegating does not mean that you're passing off your work to other people just because you don't want to do it. Neither does it mean that you're trying to enforce your seniority over someone who is junior to you. And delegation is also not a door for you to micromanage. Additionally, when you delegate work, it's important to remember that you are still ultimately responsible for the entire task, product, work item, whatever it is that you're doing. The first thing to keep in mind if you want to delegate successfully is that you have to have a solid understanding of the work. You cannot give what you don't have. So it is extremely hard for you to tell someone how to do the work well if you don't know what well looks like. I remember some years back, I had a work situation where it was myself and a coworker, and we had our overall senior manager, and then we had another person below that manager that was working with the two of us. So the senior manager and the other manager, they talked about what the final work product should look like. And this manager was now responsible for giving the information to me and this coworker. We met with this manager twice. We worked on this task probably for about 2 weeks. And we even went back and forth with this manager as far as this is what we have, give us your feedback, let us know what to improve on. And I remember on a Friday afternoon, y'all, the senior manager came back and she dragged us. Like, you know, for those of you that are Nigerian, when you eat shaki, you know shaki that's hard and you got it like really, she dragged us like that. Oh my gosh. I just closed my laptop. I said, I'm leaving for the rest of the day. My other coworker was so pissed. But what happened in this situation was that, I mean, obviously there was some level of miscommunication, but the manager really did not have a good grasp of what the senior manager wanted us to do. And we got dragged in the process. So make sure you understand, okay? So you can save yourself and your team from being dragged. The second thing you want to do is you want to make sure you pick the right people. And so picking the right people, I think, is dependent on two things. One, the technical skills. So do they actually know what it is that they need to do? And two, do they understand that this is an opportunity for their growth? Availability is important, but sometimes you will make it work even if the availability is limited. The reason why it's important to pick someone that actually understands the task is because you don't want to ask someone who has absolutely no experience in SPSS to go in SPSS and build you a data set. That is a waste of time, a waste of effort, a waste of energy. So it's extremely important that when you do delegate, you make sure it's someone that actually has the appropriate skill set to do it. Additionally, the reason why I say it's important to make sure that it's someone that sees it as a growth opportunity is because if you have someone that doesn't want to do it, is dragging to do it, doesn't understand that this is an opportunity for them to grow, chances are they probably will turn in bad work, for lack of a better word, and that puts more on you. So for me, I feel that whenever I'm delegating, I always try to think of the people who I know are going to deliver. You also want to make sure that this person understands the company standards or the project standards. You know, there might be certain ways that you all format documents. There might be certain ways that you have client calls. There might be certain ways that you deliver work products. And so it's important that this person knows all those different standards and is able to apply them. The next thing is that you have to be available. Now, I am not saying that if you have to go on PTO or something unexpected happens that you have to be out, that you have to be glued to your phone. I definitely believe there are boundaries, but you need to make sure that if for whatever reason you're not available, your team already knows who they can reach out to. And this especially works in situations where something pops up. It's extremely important to be available because if your team has questions as far as, is our approach correct? Is our understanding correct? The client has given us this new feedback and now we have to incorporate this, but we don't really know how to incorporate it, or any other myriad of things that could pop up. It's just important for you to be available, to be able to guide your team appropriately. If you are not available, that means that your team is either going to be floundering or they possibly might be going in the wrong direction. Next thing I would advise is that you give yourself ample time to review and redo the work if needed. I do a lot with timelines at work and building timelines and, you know, building in review time and all. And I really try my best to build in as much buffer time as possible because truth be told, I know that I have done some stuff in the past that was completely wrong and someone else had to redo the work. So it is not a distant or unlikely possibility that someone may do work incorrectly or may need some additional revisions. So it's extremely important that when you are delegating work that you build in time to your timeline for you to review and possibly redo the work. Because if they provide you with something that in their own like honest to God efforts was their best, but it's not quite meeting with what you needed, then you have to do it. I remember there was a particular time when I was actually getting ready to go on vacation. I was leaving for vacation on the Saturday, and this was Friday, and this is when this work item was due that I delegated to some people. I had a call with them early in the day to explain this is exactly what needs to happen. And what happened was they sent it to me after work hours, which we had already agreed would be okay because I planned on staying online. And it wasn't at all what I was looking for. Now at this time, I obviously was not going to go back to these individuals because it is Friday. This item is due on Friday and they're probably offline. So at that point, I had no choice but to take the L and stay online until probably 10 p.m. working on this item. It is possible that had I built in a little bit more review time for myself, or had I been a bit stricter on the timeline, or had I been even more detailed with my explanation, that I would not have been in that position, but I was in that position. Now, because I was able to make up the time, on the professional side, things were okay, even though on the personal side, I was a little frantic. The final thing that is important to do when you delegate work is to have a wrap up or lessons learned session. This is important because once again, delegation is an opportunity for other people to learn. And you want to make sure that they've actually learned what they were supposed to learn. Whether it's about the process, whether it's about the concept, you want to make sure that this has been an opportunity where they actually understand how to do this thing. When you delegate work to people, the first time around when they're doing it, yes, you might expect there to be quite a bit of handholding, but the expectation is that over time, as they continue to do whatever the item is, that they'll become more independent. In order to push them further along the line to independence, it is important to do lessons learned so you can talk about what worked, what didn't work, what they have gained from it, and what else they might still be missing. You know, as I've said, delegation is extremely important. Delegation is also a key marker to your growth as a professional. You only get to delegate when you've mastered something and you can now teach someone else that thing. So when it comes time for you to delegate, or if you are already delegating, do it to the best of your ability and build a strong team while you're at it. That's all I have for today's video. Please let me know in the comments if you have any disaster delegation stories like I did. Otherwise, please make sure to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to my channel for more travel, career, and lifestyle content. See you next time.